What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to more Black Desert. So today I wanted to give you guys a few secret tips. Some of these aren't actually secrets, they're just like things we used back in the day that newer players don't really know, and it's like, why would you figure it out? So here are some things that I did back in the day that this still works, and things you can use just in case you can't find it on the market, or you just have more silver than you know what to do with, which is a weird problem to have that I don't really know what that feels like. But anyway, so some things that still work but are a little bit less relevant nowadays, but you can still do, are heating accessories for various things. So I bought some as an example, and for example, let's look at these. So you're looking at enhancing materials. Number one, let's say you needed hards and sharps, right? As you know that there's a lot of orders on it, and really these items are event based. Well, that's how it's been over the years. And so that means, is there an event on? If yes, that means they'll probably get more. If not, then you probably won't. But anyway, so let's say you need some hards and sharps right now, and you don't know how to get them. So what you would do is, there are certain accessories that you can melt down for certain things, which I'll go down the list of them once we do it, and I'll show you an example. So a lot of accessories can actually be melted down for various things. So if you need ores and various things in the future as well, you can. So let's say you need hards in particular. What you would do is heat this, and the Scarla, I believe, is two hards, right? I'm not sure if it's one or two, but I'm pretty sure it's something one or two. And you don't really need to do this nowadays. I'm just giving you like a fair warning, but just in case you did need it, you can do this method as well. You can get some extra ore materials as well along the way, and yeah, that's good to know. And so if you need sharps as well, what you would do is do the Ancient Guardian Seal, and this one gives you 1 to 2, and that's how you can get somewhat of a little bit of value. So we're melting this one, and it should give you, it'll give you 1 or 2, so that's always good. And if you look at the prices of them, you could kind of tell based on like when you're watching this, it may be more next year, maybe not. And this one is a kind of a special one, and this is used for some quests. And if you need Yona fragments for anything, you can heat up yellow accessories that are found in like the Valencia area, and we'll go over that a little bit later. So you melt these down for Yona fragments. And I can't believe I bought one just for a demonstration of this video. There you go. So if in the future, for some reason, various accessories are sold out, this is a kind of like an alternative way. I really wouldn't recommend doing this unless there's really an emergency. I forgot which one it is. Yeah, so in Altanova 4.5, which is right here, you can actually make, or go to the jeweler and make certain accessories, and realistically the best thing is to make is the crescent ring. Everything else, you are kind of like, you don't need it. And back in the day, we used to do this because all of these were relevant, and this was before all the big accessories came out. So like crescent ring was the best in slot, and like sissels were for people who couldn't get ogre rings many years ago. People actually use syrups as a budget one, and I think Bassi belts are still pretty good today. Like if you're not an endgame player, but like you're just starting out, I do think Bassi is a good option to choose from. So it's not the worst thing you can get, but realistically, you get the Yona fragments, and then you can make a crescent ring. So All the other materials, very easy to get, and I think it might actually be profitable right now. So let me see. Okay, so crescent rings right now are like, well, let's just say 60 mil, because there will be people that sell it for that. And then you get 15 of them, right? So we spent what, 10 mil for 3 of them? Then you times 5. And then if you craft it, you're saving a little bit of money. You're just wasting a little bit of time, which is not really the greatest. But if like crescent rings are sold out, and I just have a lot of them from grinding Valencia and doing random stuff, so I could technically make a lot of them if I wanted to. But just in case you needed to know that, good to know. And I wanted to go over some of the accessories that are actually meltable. And like, obviously you wouldn't just melt ogre rings for no reason, right? And yeah, so generally the rule for it is if it's expensive, like, I don't know, a crescent ring, you just sell it or you use it. But things like this, Cadre rings, I'm not sure about Renaros, that came out a little bit later. So basically yellow ones that come out in Valencia, that are dropped from various grind spots. You can melt that for Yona fragments. There are a few things that are actually worth enhancing, and they'll net you a little bit of profit, but it's not like worth your time in any way. But like if you just have more random fail stacks than you know what to do with, then it's good. So let's see, Bencho neck. Okay, this was the one where you can melt it down for 2 hards guaranteed. And is it worth doing? Absolutely not. But I mean, back in the day when they were like 4 mil, they were. But now for some reason they're like 20. I don't actually know why they're so expensive, because you shouldn't be using this, even if you are unironically trying to make a full-on DP thing. I think there are better options. So yeah, if for some reason you just have a lot of silver, you can melt that down for 2 shards, or no, hards, like the armor enhancing ones. These 2, melt them for Yonas, the Sissel Syrup, because they drop in Valencia. Scarla is for one or 2, I believe. Hards. This one is 1 or 2 sharps. And everything else here is kind of irrelevant. Over here we have... Oh yeah, speaking of that, back in the day, before half of these were even a thing, Tungrads were considered best in slot, right? Before Distos even came out. And I remember that getting a try Tungrad was like, it meant you're good. And if you had Tet, that means you were basically the 1%. And yeah, so back in the day, this used to be like 7 billion silver. I remember pre-ordering mine for 6 and 7 billion. And if any of you guys actually remember what pre-ordering was, it was before the central market even existed. I'm pretty sure you guys can actually watch my videos from them. And it's like, in any other games, you can put up a bid for the item, right? There were no hard max or hard minimums, and whoever put the highest bid on the thing would just win it. And so basically, it was a wild market. Tet Ogre rings before were like, I don't know, people were putting like stupid orders on it, like 20 billion for like a try ogre ring, and that was just wild. So back in the day, we used blue whale molar earrings, and they were basically, the Tet was the equivalent of a try Tungrad, but it had HP, so it actually was pretty like actually useful. But nowadays, a lot of these things are just dead end items. I remember coral earrings were the accuracy equivalents back in the day, and witches earrings. And blue coral earrings actually are kind of good to enhance low key. They're so cheap to make, and if you could just like easy tap them to try, you can profit off of it. Would I really recommend doing it? Not really, but I mean, if you just feel like lighting silver on fire, this is kind of profitable. You don't even need to use your original stacks. Like 0 to probably use like what, a 5 stack, and then probably to duo is like a 10 stack, and then you just like, let's say you one tap a duo, you just made like 30 million. So yeah, low key, I used to do that, and it's still like the price has gone down, but it is profitable. Just kind of throwing it out there. Oh yeah, by the way, this is on NA, so EU, just be careful. Any other servers, be careful. And then as for belts, yeah, I remember tree spirit belts, good times. Oh yeah, you could melt this down for 1 sharp as well, and I think that's it. So the next thing we want to talk about is setting workers on your farms. This isn't particularly a secret, and it's not like it's a hidden thing, but basically they have a worker icon right here, and what it does is if you don't have a worker on your farms, basically you would have to go prune them yourself. Like you see the icon with the little leaf and the like the cross sword or whatever. You would have to prune them, and then basically if it's red, that means you like they grow slower, and you know how when they get to 100%, that's when you harvest them and then reset it. If it's like red or green, that means they're growing slower and or just straight up stop, I think. So putting workers on your farms, like they automatically tend to them, and so the number will just go up even if you're not watching it. So basically the reason why you do that is like if you're AFK all day, then you would have workers on it to make sure they can harvest at a normal time. However, by doing it manually, you get a little bit more farming XP. And realistically, I'm gonna be honest with you, after you hit Master 1 farming, it's kind of irrelevant. So originally, if you start farming, you get regular fences, right? And then at Master 1, you start to get Old Moon fences. And the difference between Old Moon and regular fences is just the size of the plot. And I'll show you what it looks like. It's not really important, but I mean, it's just kind of nice to have. And honestly, I might not be the best person to ask in terms of like farming information, because I've been farming the same things over the past like 2 years. And so you see how these square plots work, right? The original one, they're like probably double the size, and the hardest part of it is placing your plots on a non like flat area. And so that's why having these smaller ones, they allowed me to put them all together more or less nicely lined up. So that's about it. Once you hit Master 1, you just get the small plots and you can place them and do your whole farming route or like farming harvesting about 20 seconds faster. That's about it. So yeah, is it good to have? If you're AFK a lot and don't check your farms every 20 minutes, then yeah. So another thing, once again, this is not really a secret, but it's something that people overlook a lot, myself included, when I get a new outfit, is that you could put a crystal inside your Pearl Shop outfit, and it will give you either a movement speed bonus, a crit or a crit speed, or not crit speed, crit hit thing, and you could put these into your Pearl armors. And so I actually have a lot of them from over the years. So I have one in here. I probably have, yeah, I'll have one in my old outfit. Have another one in here. Not in there. I don't actually know. I have a lot of outfits I've just been collecting over the years. So yeah, one in here. One in, I don't even remember getting like half of these outfits, to be honest. It's just been years of collecting. But anyway, the way you do that is by one, you buy this off the either Pearl Shop or the Central Market. What you would do is go to Functional, and you see these equipment tailoring coupons. Honestly, your best bet is probably just putting an order on for like 270 or max price and just waiting for it, because it's not really that important. It's nice to have, but it's not like mandatory. I would not recommend spending like $15 on it. I wish they would just slice the price in half in general. So basically, how do you do it? So you would, first of all, you turn your normal armor. Let's say, I don't know. Just take any Pearl Shop armor, right? And then originally it won't have a crystal on it, or it won't have a slot for your crystal on it. What you would do is you get 3 of these thingies, or 3 claws, right? You get 3 of these claws, Black Spirit ones. You can just buy it off the market, very cheap. Then you would turn it into a Black Spirit claw. You just line them up and like 1, 2, 3 over here, and then it'll turn into this one. And then it allows you to turn it into a, allows you to equip a crystal. And so basically it adds a slot to your armor. And the people like nowadays, the only uses for this is basically getting into like Kratuga or some like underwater spot, whatever. Basically that's it. Histria, Akhman, if you have the NPC and quest done, Kratuga, use this to get into the areas. But anyway, you could also do it to add a slot to your outfit. And then what do you do after? You get 1 of these, right? And it'll tell you what you can get. So like if you look at the yellow text, it'll be like movement speed, or this one is critical hit. And if you heat the costume, it'll turn into a, I think it turns into a crystal. And I think there might be another step, but anyway, either way, you melt 1 of these costumes and look at the yellow text. It'll tell you if it's like critical hit or amity, movement speed, whatever. Get the crystal, and then the tailoring coupon with that outfit to get the crystal. Actually, that's where the big spending comes in. And then you do the claw thingy to get the socket, and then you put them together. It's kind of complicated the first time you do it, and explaining it probably didn't help you. But once you do it once, it's super easy. So that's how you do that. And another thing, a lot of beginners, and even I've seen some people just not know in general, is that you see how I have a lot of bars on here, and half of these don't have numbers, or like quick slot keys on here. The way you would do that is going to your, where is it? Let me see. It's under, I found this before, don't worry, hold on. So, okay, there it is. So I think by default, the quick slot is off, and then you want to turn this on. And what this would allow you to do is a lot more bars would appear, and they'll be movable. And so what that would allow you to do is either line things up, and for people who like to have very precise grids and everything, you can turn the grids on to like line every box up perfectly. And sometimes I swear they move like on their own, and I have to adjust it. But yeah, so basically if you want them to snap together, you would have this checked and auto align. So like, let's say if I were to move it, I could do that. And then they would, like, if I just moved it here, it would snap on to the closest thing. So you can align them very perfectly. So you want to have this auto checked on. But what I wanted to talk about mostly was how do you get the extra quick slots? Because I think by default, you only get like 8 of them or whatever the default is. But to get more extra slots, you just have to go to your settings and quick slot on. And the last thing I wanted to talk about was being able to do mass processing with your Imperial deliveries. And Imperial deliveries are just a quick and easy way to just get some easy silver every day. Is it a lot? No, not really. But I mean, it's like if you want an extra 100 mil a day just by doing it like absolutely nothing, going AFK and making yourself a sandwich, you could do that. So basically, I think, was it here? No, I don't think, not here. I've already done them, so I can't exactly show you, but I can show you where the NPC is. So basically, over here, this person, she sells or she trades you for the buffs as well, the extra Caroline buff or PvP, just buffs. And she also has a quest that'll allow you to do cooking and alchemy mass processing, or like the boxes for Imperial delivery. So what you're going to want to do is go to your storage, and basically you have to do it manually, like what, 500 times, which actually it's not that. It sounds like a lot, but it's not really. And once you do like 500 turn-ins, each time you do a turn-in, it'll give you one. So like basically it'll take you maybe a week at very most if you're a newer player, or if you have a lot more contributions you just never knew about it, you can probably power through it in like 2 days. So basically what happens is you get alchemy and cooking seals, and I'll make another video one day of like what are the best things to get out of him. But for now, basically you get 500 of them, and you talk to that Caroline, the NPC that we just were at. You show her, I don't think she even takes it. She just like, oh, you have 500? Good, okay. And then it'll allow you to do that. So let me show you. So originally what you would do for Imperial cooking or alchemy, just Imperial stuff in general. So if you did this, you would do it one by one and it'll make a box. Now, if you add this heavy duty packaging cord, it'll make 10 at a time. And look, this is just an example. You could use whatever food. You don't have to use this one. And so by using this one, it'll allow you to do 10 at a time. And the way you can get it is by the Old Moon person, which I know a lot of people don't actually know what half of the Old Moon items do, because it's less like you kind of have the reason why you're at an Old Moon vendor is because you know what you're doing. So before we wrap up this final thing, I just want to go over the quick Old Moon NPC and just tell you what everything does. I know the description will probably tell you, but just to do a quick rundown. What does this do? This allows you to go for tier 5 pets. So basically if you have a tier 4, and it'll allow you to get your tier 5 one, and it's pretty simple. Get all those materials, talk to an NPC, get this thingy, got a tier 5, easy. The Aquila piece of Old Moon is, I believe this is for the Jatina's pen, armor, and weapon quest line. So basically for people who are going for pen, weapons, and armors, you need this and a lot of other materials to combine into it. You could buy the heavy duty packaging cord to mass Imperial delivery. From here, it's very good. Old Moon Catalyst is for also Jatina's pen accessory quest line that I did. This was like the most expensive part of it, so you will need them eventually. Demarni's Unstable Fuel is for tagging your characters, and it gets expensive the more you reroll. So basically, if you have a character and let's say you want to tag this one, and what you do is you tag and then item copy. You need 450 of those. That's actually kind of cheap. I thought it was like over 500. All right, well, that's 450. Anyway, so if you want to tag a character and tag your gear over, that's how you do it. You buy a lot. 4.5 bill. The Old Moon sensor is for tier 10 horses. And if you have 2 tier 9 horses of the same type, you can get a tier 10. And most of the time, it'll fail. It's 3%. It feels bad, actually. Half of these thingies are, or like all of these are for the non-pay-to-win tent. It functions the same way. It just costs silver instead of real money, and it's not permanent. You have to buy this every week. Is it worth it? Absolutely. I think it's worth it. The free the non-pearl one, but you just have to keep renewing it every week, and it's like what, 50 mil total or something. I don't know, but it's just very convenient. Good to have. This thingy, mass elixir processing. This one is used for the anvil for another thingy at Old Moon tent. And this is for, what is that? Oh yeah, more draft processing. So yeah, that's a quick rundown of what half of those do. So yeah, overall, I hope you learned some tips and stuff that it's not really either secrets or it's just kind of stuff that's in the game that not many people really do. But just in case you find yourself needing it like immediately, well, now you know. And it's just me playing this game for so many years that why would people even need to know how to melt accessories for various items? I don't know, but you can, the more you know. Anyway, with that said, if you're new to the channel, hope you enjoyed it. Hit that subscribe button. We are going to be making more videos, and hopefully you guys are enjoying everything. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments, join the Discord, all that good stuff. And I will see you guys tomorrow.